Hi, friends. Hello. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Thank you to Nusha, Eric, Samara. It was really wonderful to hear about your experiences. I'm going to be describing some experiences from implementing the Institute process in a neighborhood in London that I live in. It's called Kipps Lane. So after many years of endeavor in this neighborhood, as Eric mentioned, the Institute is now becoming its own system of education. So a child at the age of 5 will enter a children's class and move through the different grades of the children's class program. Then, at the age of 11 or 12, after developing those indispensable spiritual qualities and growing closer to the person of Abdul-Baha, that child will enter the junior youth spiritual empowerment program, where they will continue their study and begin to take on acts of service. Then at the age of 15, that junior youth will enter into Book 1, Reflections on the Life of the Spirit. And this youth will now take on increasingly complex acts of service and will start to sustain their own junior youth groups or their own children's classes and will eventually become tutors of the Institute. But actually, one thing we've learned is that you don't have to wait till a youth has gone through many books of the Institute to begin offering acts of service. In fact, one of the first core activities in the neighborhood that was completely sustained by friends from the population itself was from a group of 5 junior youth. And this group, they hadn't gone through any of the books of the Institute yet, only the junior youth material. They hadn't been very deepened, but their junior youth group happened to take place in the same location as the children's class. So they were in one room having their junior youth group, and the children's class was in another room down the hall. And slowly, over time, they became interested, and they thought, maybe we could start to help out with this class. Maybe they would prepare a song, prepare a story, help with snacks. But over time, they began to learn that, we can start our own classes. So together with their animator and some more experienced children's class teachers, they were able to make a list of all the children they know and systematically visit these families and start a conversation about the spiritual education of their children with them. And these classes still continue today. To give another example of how the Institute has begun to shape the pattern of life in the neighborhood, so last summer, as you'll see here, 7 youth from the neighborhood wanted to offer a period of full-time service to the cause. However, many of these youth faced obstacles, especially many of them had to work. They had a genuine need to work to support their families, to afford school, and so on. So together with the local spiritual assembly, a stipend system was able to be implemented in order to remove any obstacles for these youth so they could offer this period of full-time service. And you'll see many of them here. So instead of spending their summers doing what you might typically expect of a group of 17 or 18-year-olds, these youth came together at least 5 days a week, meeting at 10 a.m. for 2 months, and they spent their days strengthening the activities in the neighborhood, studying the materials of the Institute, hosting community festivals, and having meaningful conversations with their friends and neighbors. But just because they were really focused and dedicated during the summer, this doesn't mean they didn't have any fun. So the environment that is created in meetings of the Institute, in meeting spaces of the Institute, although it's purposeful, it's not, serious. It's not overly serious or heavy, but it's light and joyful. So in our neighborhood, friends who serve together also spend a lot of other time together. They take trips to the beach, they go to each other's cultural celebrations, they attend, weddings, graduations. It's really a group of friends. And this environment created by the educational system of the Institute really stands in opposition to the environment of competition that's created by other educational systems. And really at the heart of the Institute process is the idea of walking a path of service in the company of others. And walking a path of service necessarily implies a system of accompaniment and helping one another. And in our neighborhood, we've started to see how culture of accompaniment is taking root. Animators and tutors are able to draw on guidance to assist and accompany their participants in many aspects of life. So of course in their service, but also in their academics, in finances, employment, other areas of life. Actually, one tutor was sharing how there was a children's class teacher who really wanted to regularly hold her children's class, but she really struggled with school. She was in college, English is her second language, and just having online classes was really difficult. She was in danger of, failing all her classes. So this tutor, every day for almost a year, would go at 6 a.m. to pick up this youth, bring her to her house, and they just study for like 12 hours. And then this youth was able every week to assist, to hold her children's class. And sometimes this is the level of accompaniment that's needed to allow a soul to serve. There are many other stories and experiences I could share. Also, not to mention, the challenges that come up as a group of people learn to walk a path of service together. But I hope that what was shared isn't just taken as some nice anecdotes or gives the impression that, this work can only be confined to one neighborhood alone in the city. But instead, I hope people take away that when a group of friends who see themselves as an expanding nucleus and dedicate themselves to becoming one with the population with which they live, they can use the tool of the Institute to inspire and transform the individual and collective lives of the people in that neighborhood. Thank you.